Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So, before we get started, next week, the 15th and the 16th, I'm not going to be doing a review because, well, my paperwork got approved for the Navy, which is awesome. And I'll be taking my physical between those 2 days and see what happens. So, just keeping my fingers crossed and trying to be optimistic about this whole process. And yeah. So anyway, I want to thank everyone who has been, for people who just been sending me comments and positive comments and vibes and stuff like that. I know this isn't part of the usual, soap opera vibe sort of thing. So I appreciate everyone that has been commenting and just giving me support. And just looking forward to seeing where this journey takes me. So, days. I don't even know what to start first. I mean, okay, let's kind of get the, I don't want to sit there and say boring, but stuff that I didn't really, I wouldn't say this I wouldn't care, but I didn't really know the backstory of these two. It's just pretty much Trip and Claire. They just catch up. And, Claire says she apologizes for a lot of stuff that she's done, and Trip pretty much is like, I could have probably handled it better. And that was pretty much about it. And he pretty much said, we'll see you around since Trip is going to be staying. So if people didn't watch, I just saved you about 30 minutes, give or take. Yeah, that was it. Nothing really transpired between them other than just catching up, really. Let's talk about Jake. Well, you know what? Let's talk about Jake and Chad. Jake is kind of a dick. Okay? I'm not gonna lie, he's kind of a dick. I get it, I guess Gwen was supposed to leave when they broke up, but Chad was just like, you know what? I really wanna message you. So I'm just gonna have her here just to make your life living hell. And pretty much, Jake walked into the room. Abigail saw her. Jake was like, alright, here we go again. After they cleared that up, they talk a little bit. They talk about Gwen. And then Jake says something along the lines of, oh, that's what they were doing? And Abigail was like, well, what do you mean by that? And Jake is like, I don't know. Why don't you ask your husband? I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of laugh pretty hard because I was like, you didn't have to do that. But I'm pretty sure while I was going, he probably did something that would, seem like that was warranted. So anyway, Abigail, you got Abigail, Chad, and Jake in the room, and Abigail's all like, oh, well, he was trying to allude that you were, that you were up to something. I mean, what's going on with that? And Chad is all like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Then he walks out, and they talk a little bit, and he pretty much confesses that, well, Gwen kissed him. And we left off with that. Abigail is, Abigail. Abby's not happy. I gotta sit there and say, I do like this new actress so far. I haven't really spent a lot of time with the old one, but the new one seems like she's doing pretty good. Long story short with Gwen, well, Gwen drugged Abigail, and I'm just sitting there thinking why, but I guess we'll find out as the show progresses. Now, before I really get into it, see, here's the thing. I'm a newcomer when it comes to this show. So, me watching this for the first time, that's how history unfolded. I don't know what happened before. So I don't know. I feel like they kind of like rewrote history, like their own history. I'm not too sure, but I just kind of got that feeling. And you know what? During this whole flashback scene, Julie's sitting there making drinks or whatever, and then she makes her drink, and then she's like, "Oh, I forgot something." So then she just walks away, and I'm sitting there thinking, "Let me get this straight. I don't know anything about bartending as far as drinks and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure just leaving two people's drinks unattended, isn't a good thing. I'm just assuming it's not a good thing." And she just seemed. Listen, I'm not trying to like rub people the wrong way as far as like any Julie fans, but she kind of came across as a dingbat. Like she just said, "Oh, I forgot something," and she just walks off, and I'm like, God knows anything could, anybody could have did something to those drinks, which happened, and throughout that whole thing, I'm just like, wow, Julie, you're not really looking too good for me right now. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't really know how much, but word dingbat kind of comes to mind. So anyway, after Gwen pretty much remembers all history for some odd reason while she's in the bar, she gets up and leaves, and Julie's like, "Oh, I seen your face somewhere. I know you from somewhere." Once again, Julie seems like the type of person that could just be annoying. 5 minutes of talking to her. And as annoying as she is, I can clearly say that Lucy Cole is still a lot worse than her. But yeah, Gwen is like, "Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you know me from here or there or somewhere, or your daughter, your granddaughter. We're friends. Okay, bye." And Julie just can't shake that feeling like she knows her from somewhere. Probably from that time that she roofied Abigail for some unknown reason. But yeah, that pretty much ended that. So anyway, Gwen gets back home. Now, for some odd reason, she's still sitting there carrying this vial of drugs. The drugs or whatever, the drink or whatever that, scrambled Abby's brain. And I'm sitting there thinking, why are you walking with the evidence? Most people would just be like, "Okay, cool, I spiked their drink or whatever, and I'm just gonna get rid of it." Not Gwen for some odd reason. So she's just walking around, she gets in the room, then she opens it up again. I'm just like, Gwen, you do know there are people that live here, right? This whole scene was just laughable. She's just sitting up there and she just opens her purse like, "Oh, yeah, fun times. This is a drug that I used to scramble Abby's brain. I'm just going to sit there and look at it for some odd reason, but okay, sure." And then Jake comes and he's like, "Gwen." And she has that guilty look on her face. And it's like, Jesus Christ. I gotta sit there and say, for that reason and some other reasons alone, I actually enjoyed this episode. And I think I may actually be giving it more of a pass. Either it's really great, either this episode was actually really good, or I just miss watching this show, and so I'm liking it a lot more than I probably normally would. Let's talk about Sierra and Vincent. I really don't understand this whole thing with Sierra and Ben, because I look at it and I'm like, okay, I get it. He, the Abercrombie and Fitch model, whatever, so fine. But he killed a lot of people. I mean, this guy is called the Necktie Killer, And yeah, I can sit there and look at Jason and Sonny or whatever, but clearly they kind of did it for sometimes defense. But Vincent's in the car. He's like, "Oh, you try to kill her or whatever." Like he's convinced that this is his fiance or whatever, and that he is trying to protect her from Ben. And she's looking, and I'm like, listen, I get this guy is high as a kite right now, but like those feelings are still there. Like he had a fear for his wife or his soon-to-be wife, and your husband killed her. Nothing like you're okay. Anyway, long story short, they get to the airport, and then somehow, because we don't see what goes on, Hope and Sean track them down. They get to the airstrip or whatever. They get Vincent out the car. For some odd reason, he just starts to run. I don't know why they didn't just shoot him in the leg. I remember they used to do that in the 90s. But anyway, they start to chase after him. Ben goes to the car. And then there's an explosion. And I guess presumably she's... Well, I'm going to be honest, she's not dead. But who knows what happens. It's kind of weird. He just blew up the car. But I don't think that she's dead. Also, for people that don't know or may not remember, that actress is leaving. Still. I'm pretty sure she's still leaving. So maybe they'll do some sort of surgery or whatever, and then she'll look different because as a new actress. So I guess time will just tell. But that's pretty much where that story leaves off. And let's see if I actually missed anything. 1 second. I guess you could sit there and say there's some good romance going on with Jake and Ben. Jake pretty much just kind of supports Ben as far as like, trying to see what's going on, see if he can kind of get this whole, getting Ben out of custody a lot faster and stuff like that, and just, having his back. So I thought that was actually a nice scene, Yeah, that was a nice scene, and to be honest, that's that's actually really the end of it. I mean, the story really heavily focused more on Sierra and everything that was going with them, and I think there was pretty much only like two side stories that really didn't matter that much. I mean, it did, but like not in the grand scheme of things. As far as what was mainly going on with this episode. So, yeah, that's actually about it. Oh joy. They really need to get somebody else behind the bar that's actually going to attend drinks, not just leave them just unattended and walking away. Other than that, that was actually it. So yeah, that's actually going to do it for this review. I'm sorry it actually came out so late, but it was kind of a long day. So, but I appreciate everyone who's watching, and I will still be doing these reviews on top of my General Hospital reviews, which I'm actually going to do next. So, have a good night or good day, depending on when you're watching this. Be safe. Catch you in the next review.